And by the way, if you're looking for the best Giants talk in the Bay Area, then check out the Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys podcast featuring Joe Shasky and Sam Lubman, Slam and Sam Lubman, as I like to call him. They bring you all you need to know about this Giants season every single week. New episodes are now available wherever you listen to podcasts. Joe Shasky, what are you guys talking about this week, huh? A little Shohei Ohtani action?
I mean, everything. I'm probably going to break down my top 5 players of the 1988 team. No, I'm just teasing.
Oh, boy. And Little League season's officially over for you guys, right?
Yeah, we're done.
Man.
It's all right.
How are your weekends now? More time, more free time with the missus? Does she like that or not like that?
I owe her big time moving forward. But we've got a lot planned moving forward because I got a cousin wedding. Probably the last of my cousins on one side to get married.
Okay.
That's going to be this Sunday.
Where's it going to be at?
Saturday.
Where's it going to be at?
Sonoma.
Ooh, toasty?
I'm going to be wearing the linen suit.
Okay.
So it's nice and airy.
You a groomsman?
No.
Okay.
No. This one is just stash and crash, baby.
I love weddings, man. As long as you're not like participating. Oh, yeah, they're fun. You get to drink, have fun, see family members.
Is Shanahan going to marry Brock Purdy?
Boy, that's a great question. Who has he married so far? Is he really? That seems like a lot of mistresses, a lot of significant others.
Well, they got married.
I think Kirk Cousins he got married to for a little bit. Clearly, he's the one that got away. Like, that's the guy he keeps wanting. He keeps getting linked to him, right? Talking about this doc with the quarterback doc on Netflix where it follows the 3 lives of Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota throughout last year's NFL season. And it comes back to the San Francisco 49ers quarterback, because doesn't it always come back to the quarterback, Joe Shasky? This is the evergreen topic. I don't think, even if they actually find a guy, like if Brock Purdy starts the next 10 years, we're still going to be talking about the next guy, because that's just kind of what the quarterback position brings. And what I left you with before we hit the last break, was the expectations surrounding Brock Purdy, and rookies report to training camp tomorrow for the San Francisco 49ers. So we wanted to get a little bit of the football in here. The expectations are going to be sky high for this kid, man. And I'm just afraid he's not going to be able to live up to them.
What are those expectations?
I think, what were they last year? Last year they were nothing, but then he won 8 straight games and he looked like a Pro Bowl kind of player. I think people are expecting them to look like what he looked like last year, which was a hell of a quarterback. Right? Oh, were you not as impressed as I was with his...
We're all impressed. I mean, like, there's no doubt we're all impressed. But
he looked like a Pro Bowler, did he not, when he got thrown in there?
No, he looked incredible.
Yeah.
He looked incredible. But
I think people are expecting that same level of play throughout this next season. Okay, is that unfair to him is what I'm asking.
All right, so regular season last year, not the playoffs. Let me give you the regular season. All right, he was 5-0, 67% completion, 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So 13-4. Let's extrapolate that over, a bigger sample size.
Times 3, right?
It's not fair, but let's do it anyway. Times 3. So you're looking at a guy throwing 30-something touchdowns, 12 interceptions, close to 4,000 passing yards. Those would all be 49er highs.
Yes.
Since Jeff Garcia.
Yes.
That's asking a lot. That's asking a lot.
You don't think you can do it?
I mean, at this point, I just want him to establish himself as the starting quarterback in San Francisco multiple years in a row. I think you got to crawl before you can walk, before you can run, right? And I think last year was unbelievable sprinting, and the NFL is much more difficult than that. And I expect teams to adjust to him, and I expect him to, to battle different things this year.
Yeah, it's good. Specifically, it's just staying healthy, man. Like, that's it for the San Francisco 49ers. Can the quarterback stay healthy? Like, if I was going to bet, like you said, hey, Spinoni, I'll bet $100 that Sam Darnold starts 2 games. I might be inclined not to take that because I think he might start 2 games. Like, I think he's going to.
Darnold?
Like, yes, because of the track record. Like, the thing that happened last year was when Jimmy Garoppolo took over for Trey Lance, I said on this airways, shout out the pregame show, 5 to 6, Monday through Friday, a.m., that is, 5 to 6 a.m., right before the morning roast. You can catch the crossover at 5:45. Not this week, filling in for Bonte this week, but next week we'll get back to the pregame show. But I was talking about it. Do we really expect Jimmy Garoppolo to start this whole season when he took over for Trey Lance? Do we really expect that to happen? Now, it's unfortunate, and we can get into the whole injury-prone conversation and stuff like that, but the fact that in his rookie year, Brock Purdy took over, and yeah, it was a freak injury. It was a helmet or whatever it was onto the elbow. The fact that it happened, though, gives me just slight pause that any of these guys are going to be standing at the end of the year. Like, pick your poison. I don't know which one it's going to be. So, I'm frightened, man. I really am.
When you watch the quarterback doc on Netflix, you see the amount of hits these guys take. And I know we know they take hits, but usually your camera or your eyeballs end up, following the football, and you're not like hyper-focused on just the collision that happened.
No, you see some where it's like, oh my God, he got rocked, but then you see like a bomb.
Exactly. And you're like watching that. I distinctly remember coming in here after the Jimmy Garoppolo New Orleans Saints game and telling Bonte, and I did the same thing after the Chicago Bears game. Yeah. Quarterback's getting hit way too much. There's no way you're going to be able to withstand the entire year if you're getting hit that much. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, or Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance.
Well, you saw it this past year with Tom Brady. That's probably one of the reasons you retired. Man, that guy was getting hit way more than any time else in his career.
Absolutely.
He's 45 years old, getting manhandled by DeMarcus Lawrence in the playoffs.
Now, you don't face the Dallas Cowboys every week, and they were an elite defense. Yes. They tagged and peppered, Brock Purdy all game. Yeah. All game. Yeah. And were forcing him into some really difficult throws. They were elite. And I remember coming out of that going, dude, he's getting hit way too much. There's too much pressure. Way too much right now. Again, speed obviously plays a factor in that. And I'm talking about team speed for the Dallas Cowboys. I worry about all these quarterbacks. And there is something to be said when you watch these docs and you see, like, you talk about, like, can so-and-so stay healthy? They're all hurt. They're all getting peppered left and right. But there is not an art. There is a skill to training your body to be healthy and to have the pain tolerance to be able to withstand an entire year. There's also randomness, which I acknowledge. You go throw, guy hits you in the knee or in the elbow, and it's just unfortunate. And It happened to Tom Brady, it's happened to Drew Brees, it's happened to Russell Wilson, and those guys all had 5 to 10 years of didn't miss a snap, let alone miss a game.
Yep.
So there is a randomness to it. But, like, Purdy is smaller. He is, like, straight up. And, like, you can only run around so much, as Russell Wilson started to realize. And you've got to be physical. I go back to this. There's a prerequisite height, weight, speed. When you look at the Hall of Famers, that are out there, there's only a handful at the quarterback position who are under 6'2", under 6'2", who aren't 220 pounds and lighter. And those guys are few and far between.
Yeah.
So there is a physical size that you have to have withstandable staying power in the league. What's a fair, look at Brock Purdy is like the question you keep coming. Can you play 15 games, 14 games? Like, when's he going to be healthy at the beginning of the year?
That's the thing. Like, I don't know what's going to go down with these players. Like, you say Brock Purdy's ready to start week 1. What's it going to look like? Is he going to be fully healthy? Is he going to be good to go? Is that arm strength going to be finally there? I would hope so. Because if this guy's the future of the team, Joe Shasky, I would hope they're not putting him out there too early. Now, all reports are indicating that it's fine. He's all ready to go. He's ramping up, if you will. That's the term we like to use. He's ramping up his arm. But I would hope they're not putting him in a position where if he gets hurt again, then his career could be possibly over. I hope they're not doing that. I don't think they are. But it is a little nervous when you deal with elbows and you see how protective they are with pitchers at this level. I know you're throwing, it's different. The mechanics are different and all that. But how careful they are with pitchers in the major leagues, and it's a similar type of surgery.
If I said Jimmy G played 15 games this year, let's say when he was the Niners quarterback, you'd say it's a pretty good year.
Yes.
For health, right?
Yes.
If I said Trey Lance played 15 games, everyone would be shocked, number one, because he can't even get through one game without getting hurt. But, like, wouldn't you say, like, that'd be a great year?
I'd take that.
To me, like, let's say Purdy starts the year and he maybe misses a game or two, right? At the beginning, at the front end. But he plays the other 15 games. Forget the statistics. That would be an unbelievable accomplishment in itself, because sustainability at the quarterback position for health has been something for a decade the Niners haven't been able to do.
And to your point, it goes back to making the right plays. And I just hope the improvisation of a guy like a Purdy doesn't go away after that kind of injury, because you know what? I saw it happen with Derek Carr. I know it's a different type of injury. His arm, it wasn't as traumatic. He broke his ankle. The guy was never mobile again. And I just hope...
Was that psychologically or physically?
I think that was psychologically.
You think it was psychologically?
I think his legs were still somewhat pretty fine. When he tried to run, he would get it, but he just never wanted to scamper out there. Now, this is a different type of injury. Brock, he maybe is a different mental makeup than a Derek Carr. I don't know. But I just hope that element doesn't leave, because that's the one thing that I did see from Brock last year, comparing him to Trey. He did look, oddly enough, he looked quicker.
Yeah.
Like, he did look quick, the short area burst, but being able to run out to the outside, get a little quick release. It did look like he had a little bit more quickness than Trey did. But I think Trey was gassed up like this guy that was going to be this amazing Lamar Jackson type. That wasn't his game.
No, I never.
If you watched him at North Dakota State, That was not his game, but I think a lot of 49er fans felt like that was going to be the guy they're getting, but that's not who he was.
No. Yeah. But, like, again, I'm going to go back to once you get injured that first time, it does change your style of play.
No, it does.
Jimmy Garoppolo pre-ACL looked different in the pocket and behind the line.
You see Tom Brady, when he actually had that knee injury, that torn ACL, how many times did he just ground the ball?
Yes.
Every single time after he's like, I'm not taking a hit to the knees.
Andrew Luck.
Man.
You know, I mean, he had the lacerated spleen, he had the separated shoulder. Like, his game took a hit.
It's pretty wild. I saw a poll question out from someone last week where it was like, is Andrew Luck a Hall of Famer? I was like, let's relax.
I mean, no.
Let's relax. Like, come on, man. Like, and by the way, Andrew Luck, there was so many like NFL mic'd up moments where he'd get hit in the NFL. You know what he'd do? Good hit, buddy.
Well, that's
great hit. Golly, that was what a shot.
When Mahomes hits the sideline and the guy doesn't plaster him, he's like, hey, really appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, every time.
I'm dead serious. He says it all the time.
That's low-key some mental games, like
Absolutely.
mental warfare, like getting in that guy's head. Like Crosby was trying to, if you watch the doc, Max Crosby of the Raiders, it was Monday Night Football last year when they were going up against him. The Raiders were up 70-0. And Crosby does a little punch to Mahomes after the play was over. I loved it. 5 seconds after, he just punched him. He's like, hey, man, what are you doing? Like, that's not cool. Like, kind of a thing. And then obviously Mahomes just goes on a tear. Travis Kelce has 4 touchdowns. But it's just little mental warfare games that players do that makes the game interesting. Good morning to all of you on Twitch, on YouTube. Appreciate you guys chiming in.
I want to get into this expectations thing. 49er quarterback is going to have a level of expectations. Just if I say 49er quarterback, we say you've got to take the team to the playoffs. Wouldn't most people say that?
Yes.
Which, fair or not, that's always going to be the standard.
Which is funny because we're talking about like big market teams and like the Giants we think are one, and then the expectation is like, oh yeah, they were good 10 years ago, as you said.
Yeah.
Niners, the expectation is, yeah, you better be competing every single year for a championship.
Yeah, so that means being in the playoffs, right?
In the mix.
But I think Brock unfairly is going to be scrutinized higher than that.
He is.
I think they're going to be like, we need you to be Pro Bowl level.
No,
which to me is kind of reckless.
The expectations, and what are they at 888-957-9570?
That's kind of reckless, isn't it?
I think so. Like, that's not fair to a guy. It's his second year. He hasn't even played a full season yet. But because he was this is what I'm getting at, Joe.
He was awesome last year.
He was so amazing last year that the expectations are through the roof. I don't think he's going to meet them.
Well, that's not the real NFL. Like, the real NFL, it feels
kind of like how Steve Kerr said this isn't the real NBA when it's like when they had KD and stuff like that. This isn't real.
I mean, you're going to struggle a little. Like, he's going to have a 2-interception game.
A lot more game tape now from the opposing teams.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a knock on him. Like, I want to see what he looks like, and then where is he psychologically because of the elbow? I do think that's a big deal. When guys hit you square in the chest and you're in that pocket and guys are flying around you, are you able to step up? Are there more expectations for Brock Purdy heading into this year or Jimmy Garoppolo heading into 2020?
Danker on, sorry, real quick. Were you asking me a question right there?
Yeah.
I was totally just like real quick, one more time.
Pick the year for Jimmy Garoppolo. Were there more expectations for Brock heading into this year or Jimmy into any of the years prior?
I think it's that first. I think we were excited. No, it's definitely Brock because this is a championship team with Jimmy coming off that. What was it? 5 games he won. They didn't know if they were going to be a Super Bowl team the year after.
2020, the year that they had a really down year after the Super Bowl, weren't the expectations sky high? You flirted with Brady.
They were, but you know what the talk was? Super Bowl hangover. Everyone was just like, you know what? I don't think they're going to make it this year because of that Super Bowl. Like, no, seriously though, everyone was saying that. I think it's this year. It's not even close. It's Brock Purdy. Because they're so damn close. And it's because the NFC's wide open, by the way.
Well, that too.
That's the thing. Comparing it to a few years ago, where was it? The Rams were the dominant team.
Yeah.
They had all these other teams that were up there, the Packers. Tyler Miller here, real quick, on the YouTube chat. This team went to the playoffs with the last pick in the draft. LOL. The quarterback doesn't have to do much. Do you agree with that?
No, I disagree. They have to do more than... if that was the case, then why didn't Nick Mullins, do better? If that's the case, then no, I don't subscribe to that. I do think that maybe the quarterback isn't relied on to the degree that he is in other systems. That is fair because of the playmakers around. But, dude, it's quarterback. A couple of interceptions, you fumble a snap, game's over. Like, there's a lot that gets baked into it. I'm not going to downplay quarterback importance. And Brock was what he did on a Thursday night with a bum chest. He got blasted in the chest the week prior. What he did on that Thursday night was spectacular against Seattle. Up in Seattle, like, that's when he won me over.
No, that was a legit. No, and that's not the Legion of Boom, but don't get it twisted. That's a legit defense for the Seattle Seahawks, and they revamped. That's going to be very interesting when we look at that division It's just the Seahawks, right? Like, and you said something pre-show that was interesting. It was like, are we sleeping on the Rams a little bit next year? I don't think so.
They're not done.
Really?
I just don't. If you told me they won 9 games this year,
Ramsey's gone.
Yeah, but if you told me they won 9 games this year, I wouldn't be that surprised. 9-8.
Do I even want that if I'm Sean McVay and the Rams? I kind of want to lose this year, right? Like, you want to get a pick?
I just think...
Is that a team that could sneaky take for Caleb Williams? Do they even have a pick yet next year, by the way?
I don't know, but I'm not ready to close the book on Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, and Matt Stafford. I have too much respect for Sean McVay.
That's fine.
I think we're sleeping on them.
I think just Matt Stafford's
maybe I'm wrong.
I think Matt Stafford's body is just breaking down at this point. Like,
fair.
he got so much punishment in Detroit, and now we saw that last year. Like, maybe he's that guy, because if he is healthy, I do put Matt Stafford probably right behind Jalen Hurts in that top quarterback sphere in the NFC. Whether that's fair or not, what say you? 888-957-9570. I do put Matt Stafford in that top. Where do you put Brock Purdy if we're ranking the NFC quarterbacks next year? Where do you put Trey Lance? 888-957-9570. You have to put Trey Lance way down on the bottom. You just don't know yet. You put him in the rookies category.
Do you know more about Jordan Love or Trey? I feel like they're both the same. Like, if we're doing different tiers, they're going to be in the same tier. Very low.
How many starts has Love had? 2?
What?
How many starts has Love had? 2?
I think 3.
3?
Yeah.
I feel like I've still seen more from him, though.
Well, he's played all those games.
Right?
Yeah, and there wasn't a monsoon in more than a quarter of one of them.
It's a good point. 888-957-9570 is the number. We're talking Brock Purdy, Trey Lance. We got rookies reporting for training camp.
You're so excited. You're like glowing.
I love football, man.
Who's the Raiders pick?
Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech. He's supposed to be this physical freak. He fell a few picks. He was supposed to be a top 5 one, but like there were some injury concerns, which I guess I don't know what it was, his knee or something like that. But this guy has Kevin Durant wingspan or arms or something ridiculous. He's 6'7". He's like a physical marvel.
Is his Twitter game as good as Kevin Durant?
I don't think so. Al Davis probably would have liked him because he's fast and he's long and he's strong. So if Al Davis liked him, then you know he's going to be a great pick. Well, shout out Darius Hayward-Bay.
The rookie that I'm most excited for the 49ers is the Penn State safety. And from all accounts, it sounds like he is going to get a lot of opportunities to showcase himself. They need a ball hawking type of a safety. They brought Gibson back. Gibson had a great year last year. Obviously, Talanoa Hufanga was awesome the first 8-9 weeks. Tapered off a little, hit the wall.
Hufanga's an interesting guy. I know he won All-Pro, but towards the end there, some of those games he cheats a lot, man.
In the Mahomes game, they're going to show it in the doc. The safeties come up, and he goes, good, I get to go over the top. He just attacked them over the top over and over.
I looked at that game in Vegas, man. Jared Stidham carved them up. Devontae Adams, Stidham, man. Broncos legend. Watch out. Russell Wilson's got competition, Johnny boy. John.
Wait, he went to the Broncos?
He's a backup there. Sean Payton got his guy. I was actually in the camp. I didn't want to get Jimmy Garoppolo. It's fine. But I wanted Stidham to start all year, and if they sucked, so be it, because you can get Caleb Williams. But it's fine. You got Jimmy Garoppolo, who may or may not start a game.